Hey guys, Dutch Texan here. With the 2015 Mustangs pretty much right around the corner, I figured this is the time to do a review on my 2005 Mustang GT, since it's pretty much a decade old at this point. Now, we took a trip to Colorado in late 2004 for Christmas with the family, and that's pretty much when these cars graced every single car magazine out there. The front cover was littered with 2005 Mustang GTs. And back at that time, my wife actually needed a new car, and the race was between a Mini Cooper S-Works or this car. And as any good then boyfriend would say is, well, you should really go for the V8, besides you're a Mustang girl, you know. And if you go ahead and buy the V8, you must have a manual transmission, because what good is all that power if you can't have a little fun with it? Now, these cars came stock with a 4.6 liter V8 that produced 300 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Now, this particular car is still 100% bone stock, but that does not mean that you cannot have fun in it. So it still goes pretty well. And honestly, to this day, it still brings a smile to my face. And I believe that this car is the sole reason why we see Challengers and new Camaros on the road. Because it pretty much began what it began in '64 when it first came out. It just started this whole new war that we're all part of right now. We got Challengers roaming the streets, we got Camaros roaming the streets, and of course, the car that never left, the Mustang. Now, 0 to 60 in these cars comes in the 5-second range, and the quarter mile is pretty much eclipsed in the 13-second range, or low 14s, depending on what kind of driver you are and the condition of your car. And the thing that I love the most about these cars, and the low-down torque that a big engine gives, is that you can just be in second gear at 30 miles an hour. Someone tries to overtake you, and you just hit the gas, and you go. And there's so much fun to be had in these kind of cars. So much fun, but they can also get you in a lot of trouble. Top speed on these cars, limited 145 miles an hour. How do I know? Don't ask. I've heard a lot of people talk about the hard plastic interior. You know, we're talking about a $25,000 car brand new, and I gave you the V8. Right now, when the 2015 Mustangs hit the showroom floor, $25,000 is going to buy you the base V6. You have to pay a little bit extra, and then you can get the EcoBoost. The V8s, that's got to be mid-30s. And that's where these cars start to make sense. You know, you can live with all this stuff. And if you're in a hot climate, that hard plastic is not going to bubble up like a soft dashboard. Now, I got my US driver's license in this car because my Dutch one, for some odd reason, didn't carry over. It's in my wedding pictures. My daughter came home in it, and so did my son from the hospital. So you might say that I am attached to this car and cannot form an objective opinion, but unfortunately, I'm one of those people that, even though I love this car, it definitely has its faults. Now, with the younger ones, or should I say older ones, in 2005, 2006, and probably maybe some of the 2007s, the gauge cluster has an issue. Ford, in their infinite wisdom, decided to use inferior product. They used inferior stepper motors, and this causes the needles in the gauge cluster to point wherever the hell they want to, but correct. Now, for me, I still have speed and I still have RPM, so that's good. But all the other ones are pretty much pointing in the wrong direction, which is a major issue. And I also have some delamination going on just above where the miles are shown. So for me, the only option is replacement, and replacement is going to cost you $800. Now you can send it in to someone that can fix it, probably for $100, but it requires you to take the gauge cluster out and fix it that way. Now the other issue I have with these cars is these door panels. This right here, this insert, when you have a hot and humid climate, which Texas can do very well at times, over time this will start to dissolve the glue and it'll come loose. Now some people have been trying to glue that back on, and there are some tutorials out there on forums and stuff like that, but I never got it to stick right. So I pretty much replaced these door panels. Now when you buy a car that is from the first model years of the next generation, you're gonna have issues. Another issue with the earlier cars is that the passenger footwell can develop a water leak, and that is especially a problem if you are in a wetter climate. Now my car did not develop that issue, luckily, but it is something that you might want to look for. And that brings me to a conclusion that if you are interested in buying one of these cars, I would suggest you get an 08 or an 09 Mustang. All the smaller problems have been fixed. Now these door panels are still going to be an issue, but it is something that you can deal with, you know. And you can take it to an upholstery shop and get that fixed. But you have to also say, hey, these cars are now 10 years old. They're not new anymore. And that is why you do it. That is why you get one of these cars, to have fun. Now, if you're serious about buying one of these cars, I would definitely join a Mustang forum, because they will be able to answer any questions you might have. And there's a bunch of mechanics over there as well that will tell you, hey, you have to look for this and this and this. Because honestly, I probably missed a couple of things. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the flip side.